Good morning. Karen's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? I mean, it's my only option. Cook. You take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it in the oven. You cooked meat. Where did you get that? You ignore Karen's question. What's that smell? Grigor finally gets off the couch. Where did you? The three are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting it into small pieces. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. You take a piece and immediately devour it. Do you have any more of this? Explain how the meat is stored securely hidden so you can ration better this time. I understand. Thank you. Anatoly runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes. This taste is... Grigor wanders off. Anatoly returns looking choked up. I was too weak. Left you some. Don't fight this, Anatoly. Anatoly takes a piece from the plate, turning his back to the group as he eats it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. I'm going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay? Karen leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? Let's go to Anatoly in the bathroom. You knock on the door first. Anatoly? You slowly open it. Thanks for checking in on me. You ask if he still feels sick. Not anymore. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better. You nod. Thank you. You're sure Anatoly will remember that? The relationship is stronger. You leave Anatoly and go tidy up some parts of the kitchen. Hours passed. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. They can never be satiated now. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time. No dinner. Fine. I understand. I can wait. No arguments? Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly. You have a strange dream. You're having dinner with the blacksmith, but he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard. I can forge anything, he says. Your eye has been giving you issues lately, so you reply, forge me a new eye then. You laugh, but then the ropes come out. He ties you to the chair with a long rope to prevent you from moving. You rip the rope apart without even trying, so the blacksmith uses a thicker one. No turning back now. The blacksmith takes a hot poker out of the coals. It makes his eyes glow as he scowls at you. He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully for your eye, before plunging it through your skull with a sickening crunch. Force of the blow throws you backwards a few feet. You're unable to break the ropes. The blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body as he raises the poker again. You wake in a cold sweat. You wake up to see Grigor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling. Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything?
Они вас никогда не простят.
The floodwaters have receded a little bit, but everyone's still bound to the cabin. The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now. Good morning, big guy. Where's Mariah? This might sound a little crazy, but every night around 2 a.m. I can hear her outside. She makes this awful gurgling noise, like she's trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor? Sometimes when the rain gets faint, I think I can hear her whispering. I haven't heard anything like that. When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something, right? Yes! I sometimes hear her crying through the radio, but that's just a broadcast. Right? I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. It's what she would have wanted. What's gotten into you, Anatoly? Anatoly looks at you begging. Bring us another slab! Please! He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it. I can't get the taste out of my mouth! Help me! Anatoly. Gregor looks hurt by Anatoly's words. I think he's right. Please bring us more of that meat. You grab some of the meat from your secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to some boiling cauldron water. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it quickly. Smells good. What's taking so long? Boil faster! It looks almost done. Patience. It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth before swallowing the chunks whole. Anatoly creates ripples in the broth with his finger. He isn't eating. I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. Mariah. Anatoly begins to weep. You look over at Karen. You didn't notice her eating. There's just an empty bowl now. Karen is staring right at you. How much more meat is left? Explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. Yeah! How can you be so careless again? You remember Karen's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? This storm isn't ending! You clear your throat. Anatoly? Yes? I think tomorrow you should look for Mariah. I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants. Please, Anatoly. You can swim back after looking. Gregor is right, Anatoly. Maybe you'll find Mariah out there. You're right. Mariah's still out there. He still hasn't accepted what happened yet. She doesn't need anyone's help. But we need your help, Anatoly. That's right, Anatoly. Please help us. Let me sleep on it. Okay? No problem, little guy. Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. You go to bed ravenous. Mariah. Something is approaching. Don't cry, it's just me. Don't be a crybaby, it's just me. Onion! Not gonna be very sweet today. I'm worried about Anatoly. He's gonna cave to peer pressure. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin? You don't answer, Onion. Please? Don't you trust my advice? You shake your head. Got a fun factoid for you. Do you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help you prevent colds and mortal viruses.
Onion.
That was a lie. People actually believed it in the 1500s? How embarrassing. Who would believe that? There was even a doctor in 1919 who tricked people into thinking it was true. Anyway, you know what smells worse than the raw onion left in the room? You! It's been a while since your last bath, right? You can't remember. Could smell you before I even came into the room.
Onion.
Yikes! So, can you stop Anatoly from leaving? I know he has cabin fever, but this is ridiculous. Anatoly can make his own decisions.
Onion.
Please! We don't need another one stalking the hallways, tapping on the windows, crying through the radio. You have the sudden urge to scream. Why do you think I've been using the mouse holes to get around?
Onion.
Scared to death I'll run into her! Don't make me tell to Cabbage about you. She can be as mean as Potato if you get on her bad side.
Onion. Onion.
Just kidding, she's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Anatoly you care about him and don't want him to leave. Even if it's only for me, okay? You can trust me. Now if you excuse me, I need to work on some new ice skates. They're for the frying pan tomorrow. Nothing beats sliding around on butter.
Onion.
Later! You completely forget the conversation with Onion. You fall asleep again, still ravenous. You have a strange dream. A fox is collecting payment from you. You despise him, so you put 2 dogs at the bottom of a sack and add 6 chickens on top. The fox smiles at you and leaves. At some point in his journey, the fox will eventually open the sack, and the dogs will tear the fox in half. Filled with such loathing for the fox, you gave him the only things you had for food. A storm rages outside. A storm still rages outside? As the snow piles up, you begin to eat whatever you can find. I know a storm rages outside. Yeah, just extra storm. Pillowcases, candles, leather. One day you wake up and you have nothing left to eat. Absolutely nothing. A few days later, you go mad and leave the cabin. Completely ravenous. Trees begin to look like charred meat. You take a cut out of one, tearing your gums apart by the splinters. Your mouth fills quickly with blood as you wade through the snow. Days later, a deer gallops by. The first creature in the woods to see your corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. Something smells terrible in the living room. Someone puked in the corner. You wipe it up with a rag to save them the embarrassment. Good morning. Good morning, little guy. Well, Anatoly, what's your decision? I barely slept last night. I could hear her whispers coming from the basement. She kept telling me to go outside. We don't want to rush you. One of us puked last night. Really? Anatoly, my patience is wearing thin. You have 1 hour to make a decision. Why so quickly? Because I'm not waiting any longer. You can see a glint of Karen's knife under her dress. Best to watch out for that knife. The group disperses. Tensions seem to be rising. You have 1 hour to kill. What do you want to do? Let's talk about the Champets. Which Champet will be in the drawer today? You open it with caution. And nothing can we call our own but death. And that small model of the barren earth, which serves as paste and cover for our bones. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you creeping up behind me. I was reciting my favorite line from William Shakespeare. Do you know which play it was from? It wasn't the one with the weird sisters. You take a wild guess. That's right. The Life and Death of King Richard II. Before I came to this cabin, I used to read all of the classics. Guess potato, why you stop? I can't turn the page with just my tongue. Yeah, I can't even nudge a book off the bookshelf. Pathetic, right? You nod. Yeah, I've been watching your progress so far. I must say, very strange choices. Even for someone like you. You've been so nice to these four. Pity I didn't receive the same treatment. Oh well. Excuse my rambling. Are you here for another survival lesson? Shrug. Excellent. No shame in preparing for the absolute worst. 36 hours have passed. You have no food. What happens to your body? For starters, your brain stops craving glucose. But there's a good reason for that. Your guts have begun shrinking. Your liver has transformed fatty acids into chemical compounds called ketone bodies. Have I lost you already? There's a book in the living room if you'd rather read about it. You shake your head. Anyway, ketone bodies mimic glucose for the brain and provide about 2/3 of the energy we need to function. Fortunately, using ketone bodies gradually acidifies your blood, which can lead to ketoacidosis. But how do you know if you have ketoacidosis? Well, a large amount of acetone is released in your urine and respiratory system. Your breath will smell like fingernail polish, which smells like... can't remember. No one knows the smell now. But looking at you, I bet your breath smells much worse. Here, have another recipe card. You unlock Potato's recipe. I personally wouldn't make it, but you have a preference for meals like that, don't you? You don't argue. Let's talk again, okay? I won't be leaving the drawer. Far too dangerous to go exploring right now. You shut the drawer and call everyone together for a meeting. Anatoly, you okay, little guy? Anatoly looks pale, like he's gonna pass out. Anatoly, have you made a decision? Yes. I'll help you all out. I promise. Thank you, Anatoly. Big tears roll down Gregor's cheeks. I'll miss you, big guy. I'll miss you, little guy. Thank you, Anatoly. I know this wasn't easy, but it's for the best. Karen. Yes. Gregor looks at you expectantly. Did you want to say anything to Anatoly? You say nothing. Goodbye, Anatoly. Goodbye, everyone. Good luck, little guy. Anatoly has left the cabin. See you soon, little guy. Guess all we can do now is wait. Good night. Karen goes to the bedroom to sleep. I didn't tell him the truth. Gregor is getting choked up. I didn't tell him. I'm missing him already. Gregor curls up on the couch for the night, turning his back to you. You shut your eyes, quickly falling asleep. You hear a scraping on the floor. Found you! Explain how this isn't a good time right now. This is no laughing matter. I'm worried about Gregor. He's as tall as a tree, but as dumb as a brick. What's the root of that? Ha ha ha. Another cornbread classic. You've been very unpopular right now. That's a tree reference. Get it? Anyway, you need to put Gregor from the red-haired woman. Cabbage called an emergency chomp-at meeting and told me to give you this mission. Protect Gregor at all costs. Understood? Yes. You nod. It's the yeast you can do, right? You tell Bread that pun didn't make sense. On a roll today. I'll see you around. Bread hops away, pushing himself through a mouse hole with a small pop. You fall asleep thinking about what Bread told you. You have a strange dream. It's lying on the table in front of you. You take out the glasses first, partially cracked, and set them down next to the workbench. After working the saw, you wrap the cuts in the old newspaper. Some of it gets soggy immediately, so you decide to dry the cuts with a towel before wrapping. Much better. You hear something approaching. You clench a fist and get ready to strike whatever's coming for you. You wake in a cold sweat. You wake in a completely different place. Did you sleepwalk, or... You found some meat. Everybody's still asleep. This would be a nice surprise after yesterday's events. You decide to surprise everyone with breakfast. You start by cutting each slice fairly thin. You brown each side in the oven, releasing a unique smell in the air. Karen runs into the kitchen. What is that smell? Give it to me! Now! You don't argue. Karen grabs a cutlet, burning her hands before bringing it to her mouth. Ah! She hungrily devours it, barely chewing. She grabs another cutlet off the plate and eats it. You thought she was concerned with rationing. Gregor wakes up from the couch and heads into the kitchen. Oh god. Already? Gregor looks conflicted. Lisa comes to the hunger. They always do. Gregor eats his food in a few bites, grabbing more with his hands. Tears start streaming down his face, but he doesn't make a sound. You join them, quickly consuming the meat on the table. I can think straight again. We'll be out of here in no time. No need to ration. Karen is sounding more determined than before. I'm gonna lay down on the couch, try to keep this food down. Gregor crawls onto the couch, turning his back to you. Karen leans in close to whisper, I'm glad Mariah and Anatoly are gone. They were stopping us from bonding properly. How did you get so good at it? You tell Karen. After one bite, it just made me feel whole again. Even with the nightmares, it's worth it. Took a few nights, but I fought back. And now it's all that I can think about. I read the books on necropsy. Necropsy? The text is ancient, but the diagrams are beautifully drawn. Very descriptive. How many years did it take you to perfect your art? You tell her. Yeah, right. I used to tell Mariah that you weren't funny, but that's not true. Sorry about that. You've grown on me. Karen pauses, deep in thought. You know Gregor can't swim, right? He'd be the next to leave, but he doesn't stand a chance outside. They always seem to come back, right? In one way or another. Why wait for him to come back? Karen hands you a vial of liquid. I think you know what needs to be done. This is a strong anesthetic. I want you to slip this into Gregor's mug tonight. He won't feel any pain until he wakes up. All you have to do is stand back and let me work on him. This request is beyond extreme. Will you do this for me? No? Fine. Save that for a rainy day. I mean, everything's out by the couch. You don't have to watch. The restraint should be easy to apply myself. Gregor's strength is a farce. Gregor, hi! Hey, Karen. What are you doing? Untie me! Oh my god. This will be over soon, Gregor. Arg! Stop! Stop! Gregor has turned silent. You leave her alone, going into the bedroom, crawling into the bed Anatoly slept in. He fell asleep almost instantly.